Okay, hi guys. My name is Nina Means. I'm the director for Austin Community College Fashion Incubator, and I am and I am joined by the few. It sounds, Brittany. It sounds like you can hear my son in the background, but we are here with Brittany Allen. I've known Brittany for a few years now. You probably know her as one of the darlings, one of the best representations of Austin, Texas on Project Runway season 18. We are so proud of her for the incredible job that she did there, standing in front of Carly Kloss and Elaine Welteroth and Brandon Maxwell, Christian Siriano, just really doing a fantastic job. But I know Brittany, having been a coworker with her, we were professors for fashion design program at Art Institute. So Brittany, it's such a pleasure to have you here and get a chance to talk about this design evolution of yours.
Yes.
So tell me, I think that, I'm so excited that you're on the show. Can you tell me some of the most, memorable moments that you had, being on Project Runway?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. And it also feels like it was yesterday, but it also feels like it was like 100 years ago because it went by so fast. But I think the most memorable part of the entire season was, of course, being saved by Christian Siriano.
Yes, the Siriano save.
Yeah, the Siriano save was pretty unexpected. I went into the competition to ever win the very first challenge, just because, you go into something like that and you're like, you have self-doubt. You think, am I really supposed to be here? Like, am I as good as the competition? And then that kind of set the tone just to kind of keep my spirits up. So the first win was very crucial, but then, going through the competition and kind of losing your way just a little bit, which is bound to happen for any creative. He was there to just kind of sweep me off my feet and keep me in the competition. So I'll never forget that moment. And I tell him, I owe you my firstborn child. I owe you so much. And he just laughed at me, but I'm like, no, really, I owe you a
lot. What an incredible moment. I feel like it was so impactful to see just the evolution of your style, but I feel like your style has such a strong fingerprint. You have such a strong handwriting in your design. What inspires you? How do you get to your product?
I'm usually inspired just about everything. I could just walk down the street and there's a construction site and I'm like, oh, these colors and the architecture. Mm-hmm. So I try to pick out, inspiration from everything. My last collection was actually inspired by Lady Bird Johnson. So, she has such a huge presence here in Austin with the conservatory, and there's the gardens with the butterflies. And I wanted to take that very kind of organic idea and then mix it with pop art. So I kind of merged the two ideas of Ashley Longshore and Lady B. Johnson, Lady Johnson.
Yeah.
So those two things that wouldn't normally go together, but then you think, oh, they're so cohesive.
Right.
I just kind of find inspiration in a little bit of everything and merge them together. But it all comes down to kind of translating and communicating my current moods in collections. Mm-hmm. If I'm feeling sad, I want to make sure that I just kind of get all that emotion out in a collection, or if I'm happy or anxious. But it all comes down to really dressing the woman that is very feminine, but she's powerful. So it's really powerful silhouettes, but some women are scared of pink because I know that's too girly, but it's it can be a power color. It can really
absolutely.
So it's
absolutely
and feminism in my looks.
I love that. I mean, and it really does come through. I mean, I personally love that. It was the pink dégradé. It was started in this really soft pink, and then it kind of evolved into this really rich fuchsia or magenta color, and just kind of the strong, bold silhouettes, the colors, I was very inspired, seeing the work come out of that. And I can see that there's definitely a strong juxtaposition between the femininity and strength.
Yeah. And it could be with that collection, all the pink, that was right after I came out of the show. So I felt like I really needed to like get this thing off my chest with the pink, and kind of ride this wave and just get it over with. But it was a very symbolic of finding my way as a designer, but not only just as a designer, but a woman, like starting off with the soft pink and, you know, being very like hesitant and, you know, reluctant to show who I was as a designer and play it safe. And then in the end, you end at this like really neon magenta and you're like, I am here and I'm fierce and I don't care what other people think about me. So it's like this very, very like obvious progression of, you know, the journey of a woman.
I totally got chills when you said that. Like I was like, yes, that's exactly what it's like. There's this evolution.
But whenever I talk about it, it's just like, oh, that makes sense.
Absolutely. No, I think a lot of women, you know, identify with that. You know, I think a lot of people identify with that, just kind of coming into your own and feeling like your authentic self, and that, you know, living out loud and being bold and being colorful may really be the real you, you know? And so that's so empowering, you know. It seems like absolutely, the journey is so key. You know, I feel like over this time, you know, it's been such a unique moment in history that we've been living. And, you know, that's a really, it's interesting. So, you know, we're going to keep it positive, but, you know, I do feel, you know, it's put us into these unique spaces. What's been the effect of kind of, you know, going into this pandemic timeline, you know, as a creative, as a designer, you know, coming off of this, you know, Project Runway season, you know, what's that time kind of been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I was so grateful for the show and I was so excited to kind of wrap up the season. On March 12th was the last episode that we had. And coming off of that, I was really excited to do like appearances and talk with designers and really share my experience of what the show has done for me and my brand. And literally, I think our last episode was on a Thursday. And then that Sunday, they were like, you guys need to quarantine. I'm like, what? I mean, we were not prepared for this. So, you know, I'll be honest, like I really thought that, you know, I had taken this risk and quit my full-time job and did this fashion or, you know, this competition TV show. And then I was like, you know, this is the time to do my brand full time. And I put everything, literally like blood, sweat, and tears, but also all the money that I had into this brand. And then I'm thinking, of course, this is my luck that we're going to go into a pandemic and then sales will just kind of plummet. I just really tried to kind of hone into what my market is and what my market wants. And that's as sad as it is. I mean, we can relate. Like we love some high fashion in our lives, but it's not selling right now. It's casuals. It's what makes people feel comfortable, but like trendy and home. And so I've really tried to hone into that, and I had a really great response. So it's been really strange to say the least. But I'm just really staying positive and just giving my market exactly what they want and what makes them feel good. And then, you know, in the end, the feedback has been quite amazing.
That's all for today. Thanks so much for joining us for ACCFI Presents. Definitely come back and join us next week for our next segment in this series. If you particularly enjoy the content that you're seeing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, keep up with our conversation on our social media handles at ACC Fashion Incubator on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll see you guys next time.